Welcome back to Marsupilami. Now we're doing part 3. And we're in the stage 3 of the building site. And
We're
Shira,
still at the building site.
yes, and Shira is joining us.
Hello.
Okay, basically, Shiroi, this is yet another game based on a French-Belgian cartoon. This is a more obscure one, called Marsupilami. Teo, since you're the most familiar with the cartoon, why don't you give a brief summary to her?
It's really simple when you think about it, Shira. There's this creature that you're seeing on screen, that it's a mixture between a monkey, a lemur, and a dog, which has this long and extendable tail that he uses in different ways, like it shapes objects with it. Classical cartoon logic, take from the Fleischers. And in the comics, at least from Predator, because it wasn't the same TV series I grew up with, the comics, he's with a bunch of other animals, essentially, I guess, escaping this circus or anything they're in. But in the TV series I grew up with, is essentially instead this motherfucker of an animal, instead creating chaos everywhere, and someone is trying to either kidnap it, or poach it, I guess. And believe me, Shiro, this creature is so annoying between its verse and everything and its behavior that I'm actually rooting for whoever is hunting this thing.
Indeed.
You know what I've been wondering since there's been quite a few games adapting stuff related to Belgium in some way. Why have we ever had a Poirot game?
Maybe a point and click one. I'm gonna check. Usually, murder mysteries games dweebs are adapted into point and click. There's even a couple I want to Titanic.
I mean, Teo, I forget, is there a Spyro game?
Of course, there's been Spyro games. There's been
No,
many.
Spyro. You don't know what it is, Dweebs. It's another thing.
I'm gonna check because I don't remember.
I mean, I know that I know that they never made a game out of Erge's other spin-off series.
Isn't that because Tintin's his most popular one?
Yeah, of course.
No, don't get the clock at all.
Oh, you'll be surprised, dweebs. I actually saw a commercial just like yesterday or something that's promoting a couple of airlines. I forgot which specific line that are getting some promotional painting, and one of them is actually Tintin and Snowy.
Oh, that's interesting.
Indeed. Alright, basically, Shiroi, the goal of this game is that both Marsupilami, our hero, and Bonelli, aka our elephant friend, are trying to have escaped from the circus, and we want to get back to the jungle. That's basically it. And this game, it kind of plays like a Fumito Ueda game, in the sense that you're trying to your best to escort Bonelli through the level. So the level is actually, so it's just as simple as platforming your way through the level. You have to think more carefully about how to specifically not just go through objects, but find a way to get Bonelli through the objects. And trust me, it's harder than it seems, because Bonelli never sits still unless you give him fruit. There he is.
Anyway,
In fact, I don't think,
years to come back.
I don't think I've actually explained this, but the only when Bonelli is walking, if you want him to change direction, you can whip him with your tail.
yeah, you showed it. A couple of times, I think. Anyway, I checked. There is apparently no Spyro game, which honestly, considering the source material, I'm not surprised.
Here's an interesting thing, Shiroi. This building set is actually in Britain,
Yeah.
according to the map screen.
I've never seen any copies of it around in any shops I know of. Have you, Shiri?
I'll take that as a no.
Yeah.
Maybe she's having mic issues again.
Oh well. Maybe
What seems to happen?
it's most likely the internet, not so much the mic. Yeah, there you go. See, she even quit.
Anyway,
All right. Say something.
I've also checked, and there is no actual video game over Kill Poirot. Although I'm not sure how to say this with a straight face. There is an actual anime series on Detective Poirot.
That's not surprising. I mean, back in the day, there were animated series of everything. I mean, if they could make an animated series of fucking Godzilla based on the 1988 movie, I don't see why Pororo can get one.
Was that the one where Godzilla gets like the human companion but used
Yes.
the scouter to fuse his soul into him?
No.
God, that was bad.
Well, granted, I didn't actually see much of it, but yeah, it was one where they used the Godzilla from 1988 movie as a way to fight other monsters that showed up. Basically, they would even I think they would even have some way of calling for it or something.
Like a typical catchphrase of your Saturday morning cartoon.
The hard part about stages, the very heavy platforming stages like these, is that you have to make sure you keep Bonelli still on the platforms. The only way to do that is to either give him fruit or do what I do and just keep whipping him back and forth. The problem is that if you give him fruit, well, he'll eat the fruit, but right after he's done, he'll keep walking again. So you cannot rely on unless. And remember, if the platform is reached the point where I'm supposed to get him off the platform, if he's still eating, it might be too late by the time he finishes and starts walking again. So you have to. It's basically a matter of either use fruit or whip him back and forth, or do both. It's like depending on what you think is best for the situation.
It's also timing. Like it looks like you need terrible precision at timing.
It's not as hard as it looks because Bonelli is not fast. So if you as long as you have fast fingers, you should be able to do it fine enough. I mean, it's not ideal, but it's not as bad as it looks. I think, at least.
All right, Shiro, can you hear us now, or can we hear you now? Sorry.
Can you?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. Now we can.
Did you understand everything that I was saying earlier, by the way?
Yes, like I said, it's not the internet. I can hear everyone just fine. Like, none of you even sound even remotely bad to me, so...
Oh, by the way, Shiroi, every time we feed the elephant a fruity burps, and we need to hear it every single time.
Great.
Well, remember...
16-bit Genesis Mega Drive belching sounds. What was that thing that Some Call Me Johnny did in Star Fox Command?
Well, to think of it like this, could be worse. Imagine if the Animaniacs games had an adaptation of Wacko's concerts.
I'm pretty sure there are Animaniacs games, but I never actually checked on any of them.
Oh no, but are you familiar with Wacko's concerts though?
Well, the episode, yeah.
Wacko's concerts are, of course, for those who are not aware, there was a running in the same way that the Looney Tunes had their stuff where they would play a classical song while doing some kind of like, for example, there was an episode, there was a short of Bugs Bunny trying to play piano and a mouse who was bothering him for no reason, and hijinks ensue in true 1940s fashion. However, the Animaniacs put their own spin on it by having Wacko literally burp a classical song. So it was basically their equivalent of that. Kind of similar to how Captain Underpants had an entire group of kids fart a classical song as well, with fart pillows. Remember that, Libs?
Remember what? Sorry.
Okay, oh Jesus!
No, could you repeat?
Boss battle, hold on. So basically, just dodge the ball and whip him. That's all there is.
Where did the music went?
Yeah, well, I think...
No, the problem there is that the boss music starts really soft and only then hits up. The problem is that the bosses are quite easy, so unless you suck at the game, you probably barely even get to hear the boss theme.
The bosses bounce back really quickly.
Yeah, the bosses in this game are pretty damn easy.
What was it? You asked me if I remembered.
If you remember that scene from Captain Underpants where they fart a classical song with fart pillows.
Ah, right.
Yeah,
Well,
that's what I was saying. It's basically
that film is when he's actually Captain Underpants. So
I like that movie.
Also, now we're in America, I guess. So.
Anyway, it was better than Boss Baby, at least.
I generally don't like toilet humor. Like only on a rare occasion do I.
Yeah, toilet humor can work.
Toilet humor makes me flush.
Ha 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 ha. ha.
What a story, dweebs.
Toilet humor can, unlike popular belief, toilet
it
humor
can work,
it can
but-
work depending on context. That's the problem. Like comedy is all about context. The problem is that's a lot of let's say something like Family Guy, for example. With Family Guy, it's literally just haha he farted. That's funny. There's literally nothing else to it. Whereas whereas something like I said, Wacko's Concerts. Yes, it's just a character burping, but he's burping a classical song, you know. So it's so there's quite a twist to it. It's not just burping.
Well, the vomiting scene in Team America was funny.
Again, sure. Like I've always said, that scene from Family Guy is basically a rip off of Team America. That's just the thing. Because remember, Team America came out in 2005, and season 4 of Family Guy only came out in 2005. So, anyway,
Team America.
Paul!
don't bother with it. It's a movie by Trey Parker and Matt Stone.
Actually, it came out in 2004.
Well, that's what I said, didn't I?
You said
No,
2005.
you said 25.
Oh, okay. Well, the point is, it came before. That's basically it.
It came out.
No shit.
Ha ha ha.
Well, there's actually considering how Book of Eri took like 18 years to come out. I guess it's.
Sure, I didn't mean it like that.
Anyway, yeah, like I was saying, like there's also a great example of it in the second Yokai Watch movie, but I cannot say because Vips hasn't seen it yet. But Shiro and Teo know what I'm talking about.
Mm-hmm.
Like I said, though, like sometimes I do find toilet humor funny, but it's mostly a miss.
Yeah, most of the time, it just pisses on your intelligence.
That's just
Also,
the problem.
there's
That's just the
no
problem, though.
damage here.
That's just the problem, though. The problem is that a lot of people see it as an easy misunderstand toilet humor and completely misuse it. And because so few people have forgotten how toilet humor is supposed to work, it created this false reputation that toilet humor is inherently bad, which it isn't.
It made the misconception that toilet humor is shit.
Ha 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 ha.
You're taking the piss now.
Oh, that's actually right. Another thing. Our tail can turn into a mouse and scare Bonelli away because we're operating on this old cartoon logic that elephants are afraid of mice.
Oh.
Yeah, it's very
It's
very bog standard, isn't it?
Yes, sure.
No. I was gonna say, like, going back to this, it's really weird seeing this character move about because he moves relatively slowly when he's walking, but when he's jumping, not only is his jump quite floaty, but the screen also jumps up incredibly quickly.
Yeah, it's
really
the camera. The
Yeah.
fucking camera. It's one of those games.
It's really weird to watch.
Where every time I understand the idea behind it, like that the camera jumps up with you at the same time.
Oh no,
It can create a seizure.
The
Yeah,
mustache
it just
guy's
moves so
deadly
quickly.
The mustache guy's deadly attack, holding his hand in front of you.
Mamma
I don't
mia!
know how the elephant didn't break your tail just then, but sure.
Cartoon logic, I suppose, Shiro.
Oh, no, see, the thing is, Shiro, Marsupilami's tail has superhuman strength for some reason that is never explained.
Cartoon.
Yeah, this cartoon, from what Tara has described to me, and from what I see in this game, is basically operating on Looney Tunes logic.
Mm-hmm.
And there we go.
There we go.
That's the end of the first docks level.
Okay.
Okay. Great, but you missed 1, 2, 3, 50, 60 bucks.
Then Coco gives you,
Trilogy with that.
yeah, then Coco gives you the death glare at the
So yeah,
end.
now that we passed for dock, now we're in the actual ship.
Like Callio, what the fuck?
Oh no,
Oh, sorry, what was that, Siri?
It looks like her. It looks like her mic.
No, we can hear you now. He just went.
Discord is
She went,
screwing up.
She
Yeah,
went Sega Genesis Mega Drive.
yeah. Discord decided to shit on her
I
again.
can't hear me at all. Great.
Sorry, what was that?
Can you guys hear me at all?
Now we
Yeah,
can.
yeah.
Okay. No, what I was saying was the one I like is when if you miss enough boxes, it'll actually knock you out.
Yeah.
Yes, there's even a trophy tied to that. You monster.
Well, I don't have the game yet, so I'm not a monster yet.
I am.
Where the hell did Bonelli went?
I nearly killed
again,
magic.
remember, Teo, one of my recommended strategies when you start a new level is go
Explore it.
go explore it by yourself, so you can do some reconnaissance and kill all the enemies beforehand. So that's one less obstacle you have to deal with.
Also, we're both fighting underwater, both the Marsupilami and the humans. What the fuck?
He can breathe.
Well, okay, that animal I can imagine because there was even the bonus level, but the humans.
Not just that, but remember too, Looney Tunes logic, aka no logic.
Suppose.
Logic.
Logic is for boring people.
You see, remember too, this Tintin, the French and the Belgians didn't get the memo that logic was invented.
Apparently it was right next to the fucking AG rule.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, I'm trying to think of something else.
Actually, I have something else to say. This is the thing, Shiroi. I never actually read the comics or watched the cartoon. I actually, the way I figured out about this game, I just saw it randomly in a store back in the day when I was a kid. And I thought it looked cool because a cartoon game. What is this? Marsupilami. What is this thing? Oh, a game where you escort this Bonelli elephant character through a level. That's interesting. That's not typical side-scrolling platformer stuff. So I got it. And this game, me and Tara have concluded this in the previous part, but this game is kind of a, even if not intentional, it's kind of a precursor to Fumito Ueda's games of sorts. Because, think about it, you're a small little creature escorting a bigger creature through a level. That's or well, not so much escorting, more like helping, and you guys have to work together to get through stuff. Mm-hmm. So it's kind of a precursor to that kind of gameplay of sorts. Obviously, and surprisingly, unlike the Tintin games, this one actually came out in America.
Yeah.
Even though nobody in America knows who Marsupilami is. Hell, even here in Europe is kind of obscure, really. I mean, nobody really.
Despite one of the TV series being made by Disney.
Yeah, well, there are plenty of Disney cartoons that are obscure too. They've made so many, so.
Yeah.
There's some few that are gonna slip through the cracks, obviously. Okay, so in order to get Bonelli through this box, we have to get the stairway icon, or ability, if you want. But I didn't explain this. Basically, Shiroi, you might have noticed how I can do various different actions with my tail. In order to do that, I have to get the specific ability icon that are scattered throughout the levels. And there's the mouse, which turns my to a mouse so I can scare Bonelli. There's the spring, which does exactly what you might think, high jump. And that thing that allows me to pull Bonelli through the head to a higher place. Unfortunately, for this particular box, I need the stairway icon, which you have to, in order to properly get it, you need to turn off the Steam. So I have to find the place where you can do that.
Yeah, you have to turn off your Steam account if you want to get it.
Steam account.
But yeah, like I was saying, it's kind of obscure because I mean, Tintin, of course, is still incredibly popular here in Europe. Everybody in Europe, aside from, I guess, the UK, is still like
that's a really odd thing to have to do.
it's incredibly ingrained in European culture. Whereas Marsupilami, I mean, yeah, I'm sure he's popular in Belgium and France since that's where it comes from. But outside of those two countries, not so much. I mean, I was never aware of it until I picked this game up.
I've never heard of this cartoon or this game until today.
Well, yeah. Well,
I never heard it until we started this playthrough.
Well, Dwebs, you didn't even heard of Tintin before me and Teo brought it up to you, so it's not
actually,
like...
I have heard of Tintin before.
Well, okay. Let me.
So had I, but I'd never seen anything.
Okay, let me guess. Through the Spielberg movie.
Nope, from the cartoon.
Oh, you actually saw the cartoon as a kid?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. I wasn't aware of that. I don't think you told me that.
Did you? I can't surprise you, know.
I don't remember you telling me that actually. Well, whatever. The point is, it is popular in Europe, but Marsupilami in itself, from what I can tell, it's kind of obscure outside of its own country. I mean, Teo, I'm guessing you found it by complete accident, Teo, like I did with this game.
No, it was actually broadcasted in the package of the morning cartoons for kids. So for a couple of years. So it was actually probably my country paid up for it to be an important stable part in the package.
So there you go. The deal is that there's a stairway ability. The problem is that there's steam going on, so I have to find the specific wheel that turns off the steam. So let's see if we can find it.
And in the background, you can see Duke Nukem going like, "I hate ball puzzles."
Well, in this case, it's a steam puzzle.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Well, but yeah, well, that's kind of what happens also in Duke Nukem Forever. Duke comes across this puzzle that involves Valve and not Steam, and he goes like, well, I hate Valve puzzle because you get it Valve, because Half-Life and Portal. But then he decides to solve the puzzles anyway, but it's totally not what Duke Nukem will do, but whatever. It's fair for that game.
Yep. Basically, I'm trying to find which specific spot is the one that controls the steam.
Yeah, because all these valves actually look the same, so you need to find the one that operates the...
The one that does operate the steam is fortunately easy to recognize when you find it because it's actually distinguishable.
It's actually also the fact that these levels are kind of a maze, so...
Well, the levels are not that big, really, when you get right down to it. They're actually pretty easy to explore most of the time. This one in particular, for example, this one, it may seem big, but trust me, when you actually get right down to the nitty and gritty of it, it's actually very easy to memorize because the designers did put quite a couple of good landmarks that help you recognize each specific spot. Like there would be tubes in a specific place, there would be a specific crate in a specific place, so it's not that hard to remember where you are. And even then, most of the exploration in this level is vertical. So and there you go, we found it.
Oh, that was it.
There you go.
Okay.
Now I can get back and up. We have to get back up.
Turned off your Steam account.
Not to mention, since we have the spring ability, it's incredibly easy to go back up if you fall down. So there you go. Now we have the stairway ability, so now we can actually get out of this. Okay. Oh, that's right, Shiroi. When Marsupilami is happy, he also says this thing called I don't know what this is. He goes ahuba. I don't know what it is.
It's his cry/catchphrase.
Okay.
I don't know what it means.
Neither do I.
Nobody
That's what
does.
it means. That's what it means.
It's his animal cry. I mean, imagine think Pokemon games cry.
Yeah, I don't think it's supposed to mean anything.
No, yeah, it's just like a typical animal cry, like a cat's meow or a dog's barking, stuff like that. Yeah, because instead it's original animal, so it needs his own original verse. Whatever.
Basically, Shiroi, Bonelli is really stupid because we're operating on that classic cartoon logic that big animals are stupid.
Which is weird because at least in my country, there's this other stereotype of the fact that elephants have incredible long-time memory.
Well, Teo, it's one thing to have memory, it's another thing to have intelligence. Isn't that kind of different? I mean,
I suppose. Didn't the animated Jungle Book movie also made a joke about that or something? The fact that the colonel elephant doesn't remember anything.
Yes. They had the elephant army from Jungle Book had the catchphrase "An elephant never forgets."
Also, ow, that noise.
Which noise, Shiroi?
The elephant screaming.
Oh.
Also, men are barking right now.
Mena doesn't like this game.
No.
Don't you see, Shiroi? That's the sound of a terrified elephant.
Yes.
Funny, I thought there was the sound of fireworks going off, considering the day we're recording this.
Well,
It's not even bonfire night, for fuck's sake.
doesn't it start at midnight or something?
Bonfire night's tomorrow. Like, guys, keep it quiet.
Yes,
I
I'm
mean,
not
so-
trying to
Don't
sleep.
let the parliament explode yet just yet.
I mean, celebrate Christmas as soon as October's over, for goodness sake. We're not bonfire
Yeah.
night.
Come on, just pick it up.
It's okay, Teo. I just have to put him in the right position. There you go.
Are you sure you don't have to use the stair? Oh, there you go.
No, it wouldn't work too because the stairways wouldn't.
Oh, it's used for the boxes, kind of like okay. There we go. Come on.
There you go. Fortunately, he can go through the box in this particular.
Yeah, it's Castlevania logic essentially.
All right, let me just.
God.
There we
Hey,
go.
the music's a little better than any of the Mega Drive / Super Nintendo Tintin games.
Yeah.
No. Unlike the Tintin games, this one is overall a competently made game. There's nothing particularly bad about it. It's just that there's a few odd quirks here and there, obviously. But the game is mechanically sound, really.
Yeah, I've been watching My Hero Academia recently, and
Oh,
that
how
gives
is
me
it?
It gives me a funny new take on the word quirk. But it's fine.
Proppy best waifu.
I've only seen a couple of episodes, but I know that anti-gravity girl seems alright.
Mm-hmm. He's the shocking thing, Dweebs. It's a better representation of classical superhero stories than Marvel or DC have ever tried to accomplish in the past, 10 years. That's saying a lot.
Japan's one up the West for a change.
All right, so
Yeah.
that's the stage 2 of the docks. In the next part, we get out of the ship in the other side, already in America. So now all we have to do is climb down from North America to South America so we can get back to the Amazon jungle where we were supposed to be actually. So see you then.
Alright, see ya.
See ya.
Yeah.